Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts. This is episode 3. On our last episode, we got through all of the tutorial stuff at the Destiny Islands, which took a long time. We ended up learning that we were trying to get off the Destiny Islands with our friends Riku and Kairi. We were trying to build a raft, which probably was not the greatest plan in retrospect, but our island was attacked by the weird shadow creatures from Sora's dream in the intro tutorials, and now Sora has been thrown off his island and has now landed in Traverse Town. On the flip side of that, Mickey Mouse has gone searching out for the reason for why all these worlds are disappearing out of the sky, and Donald and Goofy are looking for somebody with a key, and it turns out that might be us because we picked up something called a Keyblade in the last episode as well. Also, if you'll notice, while we're on the menu screen here, I've been playing the game for 3 hours and 16 minutes, which probably doesn't add up considering we've only done about an hour and 20 of actual gameplay from the 2 previous videos. So yeah, I did a lot of grinding. So if you noticed, we were level 4, I think, when we ended last video. We are now level 19. It was not fun grinding that much, but trust me, it needed to be done so that we can skate through the remainder of this opening stuff without a whole lot of headaches. Trust me, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier. I've done a couple of trial runs trying to do it as level 4 and 5 and just fighting what I can as I go. Doesn't work. Get my butt kicked all the time by the bosses at certain points, and it's not fun. I don't really want to redo it or restart. Hoping to never have to hit the continue screen, fingers crossed. And I think I still have I lost the protect chain because unfortunately the different file that I'm using for this grinding thing, I kept this file as a reserve in case I wanted to. But as level 19, there's a couple of things we got to go over ability wise, because we picked up a couple of them since the last time we met. So if you remember in the last video, I only showed you EXP 0, and we didn't learn any abilities. You don't start learning abilities until I think, I don't want to spitball this too much, but I'm thinking level 6. Not entirely sure when I got the first one, but it was pretty much after the last leveling up I did in the last video. So the first one I got was Sliding Dash, which is a cool little move where Sora will like jump on top of the Keyblade and zip across the screen into an enemy. Kind of cool. Doesn't always happen, so it depends how far you are. It's based on distance. Scan, which is beautiful. It allows us to see how much HP our enemies have, which is always good in my book. Slap Shot, which rapidly strikes enemies down, which does like, it's basically in a combo. Sora will do a normal combo and then he'll be like, take this, and he'll like jump up a little bit and come slapping down on an enemy. So that's what that is. Counterattack allows you to have an option on the command gauge, which allows you to slide back into an enemy and counter when you do that tech attack. So that's pretty cool. And finally, the last move, which I haven't had equipped because it's not really important right now, is to increase the tech points obtained when you parry an enemy. So if I mentioned, as I mentioned in the last video, there was abilities to help you gain more of those little tech boosts. That would be one of those abilities. I'm not going to equip it right now because I don't have enough AP, A, and B, it's just really not necessary right now. So that's pretty much all you missed between episodes. I put in some potions. In fact, I overdid the potions. As you see, I got 99 of them because I fought a ton of shadows, and I got their mithril shards, which is not really necessary for anything other than synthesis, which we'll talk about later on when we get there. So we're back here in Sid's shop, and I haven't left. Well, in this file, technically, I haven't left. So we're going to do a little exploring before we move on with the plot. So this is Traverse Town, and it's not really explained, I think, in-game, but Traverse Town is basically a world where people wind up when their own worlds are destroyed. So these people are all like refugees from other worlds, and whether those are all Disney worlds, it's kind of up for debate. This town has grown as people have lost their home worlds, and I'm doing really good. First go out and I can't read. This town has grown as people have lost their home worlds and come here. It's easy to get lost in such a big spiraling place. Be careful. And just think, this isn't even as big as the town gets, because in a later game the world comes back and you see down this path there's a whole other section that pops up there later on, which makes no sense. This kid, it looks like Titus for some weird reason. I keep seeing new faces today. An odd pair just walked by a little while ago. Wonder who that was. Got this lady over here. Those candles burning over there were specially created by Moogles. Ah, Moogles. Even if you snuff one out, it flickers back to life in no time. You probably need magic to put them all out. So yeah, it's a trick for later. We're going to have to get that chest over there, and to do that, we're going to need to take off all the candles, but we can't do that right now. Like she said, we need magic. Over here is an item shop. You might not need to go to the shops too much. There's really only a few things that you need from them. Primarily, they have the weapons for Donald and Goofy. You can find them in chests around the worlds too, but you can buy them here. I don't think they'll be in here right now. And you see Huey, Dewey, and Louie run this little place. You want to buy. I think right now it's just items. Yeah, it's just the usual high potions. You can buy stuff if you want. You'll find loads of things on your quest, so trust me, it's not a big thing. Also, the currency, if you look up at the top right, is money. Not M-O-N-E-Y, but M-U-N-N-Y. I always thought that was cute. So never mind. I don't know what they'll say if you say you want to chat. Let's chat. I handpicked everything on these shelves. We only carry the best. I think they make mentions to Donald later on, but he's got to be in your party. I'm in charge of keeping the shop clean. It's easier than our bedroom. Yeah, I think that's all he says. And we're going to earn enough money here to go on our own adventure. I'm going to back out for just a second. So to progress the game, we have to go through to the second district, which is through these doors. Until we do this, we can't really go anywhere else. Obviously, there's nowhere else to go in the first district, so you kind of have to go this way. It's the only way to continue the game. So this guy just lost his heart to the voided monster here, and yep, looks like we got a new enemy type. Looks different than the shadow we fought earlier. But they're back too. Oh boy. It's those creatures from the island. So yeah, now at this point, the goal is to go back. As you say, I can't pick up potions anymore because I'm at 99. Also, if you look really close, I won't kill this last one. Up in the left top, you can see the health bar. These guys don't have a lot of health, and with my strength at this point, I'm mowing through them. So at this point, the goal is to go back to the accessory shop, but I'm going to try to grab this chest here, which I believe is another postcard. Cool. I think that's the only one I can grab right now without having access to the Keyblade's full potential. So I'm going to go back and quickly give that in. So yeah, basically you can keep exploring that area we were just in, the second district, but the goal is to go back to the accessory shop and talk to Sid. It's not very clearly explained, so you can get lost if you never think to go back and talk to Sid. Kind of a weird design choice, but eventually I guess you would probably figure maybe I should go back and check in with Sid, or maybe you want to quit the game so you'll go save and you know there's a save point in here. Again, not very clear, and this is one of the few reasons why I think later Kingdom Hearts games, particularly Kingdom Hearts 2, spelt out objectives for you a little bit clearer, because there were a couple of moments in this game didn't quite spell that out. So we got to talk to Sid to advance the plot at this point. Still haven't found him? Keep your chin up. Take another look around town. That's it. That's all you have to do. Also, I'm going to show you what he's got. Want to buy? He's got a Protect Chain, a Fire Ring, Blizzard Ring, Thunder Ring, Ability Studs. That you don't really need to go too crazy buying accessories in Kingdom Hearts in general. Proud Moment, you kind of need them, but you'll start collecting them when you beat bosses, and usually those are the best ones you'll get. You don't really need to rely on the store. So when we leave, cutscene.
Who are you?
And they'll keep on coming at you, as long as you continue to wield the Keyblade. But why? Why would it choose a kid like you?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Never mind. Now, let's see that Keyblade.
What? There's no way you're getting this.
Alright. Then have it your way.
So yes, this is Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, and he's called Leon because he's still got an attitude problem, even however many years it's been since his game first came out. He doesn't want to be called Squall anymore. He'd rather be called Leon because of some tragic backstory that we actually never find out. So there's his health, and there's something really cool about this fight. Traditionally, you're supposed to lose because you should only be like level 4 at this point, and Squall is a pain in the ass because of that fire move he just did, and his usual sword moves can be tricky, but I'm going to kick his ass because I'm level 19. And there's 2 alternate cutscenes as to what happens when you beat him, so I'll quickly explain it before I kill him. So what's supposed to happen is he's supposed to kill you, and you just fall over and that's it, and the cutscene continues. But if you beat him like I just did, not only do you get 30 points of experience, but you get this little bonus scene here.
Now you're gonna...
Oh, you're slipping, Leon.
I went easy on him. Looks like things are worse than we thought. A lot worse.
So yeah, basically if you lost to him, the cutscene pretty much picks up from where he goes, things are worse, a lot worse than we thought. But before that, he basically goes, like, whatever, I beat him. And now this is another new scene. This was new to Final Mix. We find out where Riku landed. Unfortunately, if you noticed I'm talking over the scene, this doesn't have voice acting. Again, like I said in the first video, they didn't bring back the North American cast because the voices would have sounded weird. So I'm gonna have to read these ones when we come across them. So yeah, in Final Mix they explain where Riku wound up. Where am I? Sora. Kairi. Again, very weird that we don't hear anything. It's kind of funny. So yeah, this is foreshadowing where he's at and who he's encountering. We find this out a little bit later, but it's kind of cool to do it now. And a mysterious figure has come to see Riku. I wonder who that was. And then this is where the game continued originally.
Gosh, there's nobody here. Sure is spooky.
Actually, I'm not scared.
Excuse me. Did the king send you?
See, it's Donald had every right to be scared. He just saw a
Come
ghost.
on, lazy bum. Wake
I'll
up.
explain more about that in just a minute.
You okay?
I guess.
Those creatures that attacked you are after the Keyblade. But it's your heart they really want. Because you wield the Keyblade.
I'm so glad that you're okay, Kairi.
Kairi? Who are you talking about? I'm the great ninja Yuffie. I think you might have overdone it, Squall.
That's Leon.
The Keyblade.
Yeah, we had to get it away from you to shake off those creatures. It turns out that's how they were tracking you.
It was the only way to conceal your heart from them. But it won't work for long. Still, hard to believe that you, of all people, are the chosen one.
Oh,
Well, I suppose beggars can't be choosers.
why don't you start making sense? What's going on here?
Okay. You know there are many other worlds out there, besides your castle in this town, right?
Yeah?
But they're supposed to be a secret.
They've been secret, because they've never been connected. Until now. When the Heartless came, everything changed.
The Heartless?
The ones who attacked you, you remember?
Those without hearts.
The darkness in people's hearts. That's what attracts them.
And there is darkness within every heart.
Hey, have you heard of someone named Ansem?
And Sam?
He was studying the Heartless. He recorded all of his findings in a very detailed report.
Gosh, can we see it?
Its pages are scattered everywhere.
Scattered?
Too many worlds.
Oh, then maybe the king went to find them.
Yes, those were my thoughts exactly.
We've got to find him quick.
Red! First we need the key.
That's right. The Keyblade.
So, this is the key.
Exactly.
The Heartless have great fear of the Keyblade. That's why they'll keep coming after you, no matter what.
Well, I didn't ask for this.
The Keyblade chooses its master, and it chose you.
So, tough luck.
How did all this happen? I remember being in my room. Wait a minute! What happened to my home? My island? Riku! Kairi!
You know what? I really don't know.
So we're finally learning a little bit more about what's going on in the plot. So we now learn that those little shadow creatures are called the Heartless. Good to finally put a name to that. I was trying to avoid it very much for the last couple of episodes, so glad to finally get that out of the way. Also, where they mentioned that Sora was chosen by the Keyblade. That's kind of true and kind of not. Again, something that was retconned a little bit later in the series, but cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, as you know, we're now meeting some of the Final Fantasy characters. So like I said in my joke, they met a ghost in the alleyway. So yeah, when it comes to the Final Fantasy characters, you kind of have to put their past in the back of your head. I didn't really mention this when we met the kid versions on the Destiny Islands because it's kind of inconsequential, but these characters play a role in the actual plot of telling us what's going on and what's happening, and they're important to the overall storyline that's going forward. So again, you kind of have to forget where they came from. This is good in case you've never played the other Final Fantasy games, because it would be kind of confusing to have the backstory of every character sort of rambling around in your head. So like if you knew where Squall came from, or where Yuffie came from over here, or where Eris came from, or Aerith, I think it's Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 1. They didn't quite get the spelling right because their name is Eris or Aerith, depending on the English translation. So yeah, you got to kind of put their backstories behind. So yeah, Eris isn't dead. Squall isn't really too much of a loner. He's just partially a loner. Yuffie isn't trying to steal my materia because I don't have any, and so on and so forth for all the Final Fantasy characters we're going to meet from this point on. So you kind of got to just not think about that thing and, you know, just enjoy yourself, which should be what you're doing. So we're going to talk to Yuffie real quick. I heard that the Keyblade can open all sorts of locks. Give it a try the next time you find a treasure chest or a door lock. So this is what I meant earlier when I said I don't have the Keyblade's full potential. So that locked crate we saw earlier that I mentioned for the postcards, I couldn't have opened that if I'd gone over to it. But now we can open up everything with a lock on it because the Keyblade allows us to do that. We can open up anything with a lock. It's basically an all-in-one key that can open up any locked door, which would be awesome. I mean, how many times you've ever come home and it's like you're trying to go through 4 doors to get into your house and you gotta flip through 6 keys. It's so much more convenient. So if we talk to Squall, we'll be able to leave. Sooner or later, the Heartless will find you. You best prepare yourself. Prepare myself to fight for your life. Are you ready? I'm ready. Yuffie, let's go join Aerith. See, it's Aerith, not Eris. So it's always a different translation. It's the weirdest thing. She should be here with the other visitors. Leon!
Yuffie, go!
Yuffie!
Sora, let's go!
Don't bother with the small fry. Find the leader. So let's go. So yeah, they give you these couple of Heartless to fight here, and some of them are small, some of them are bigger. But it really doesn't matter who you fight. If you kill the leader, it's not like they all disappear. Again, I'm gonna mow through these guys because mad skills of over leveling, and unfortunately, we're gonna end it here because there's only one little thing we got to do left before we continue and move on. And I'm kind of want to divide this one. I know it's kind of a short world, but I'm going to divide this one up because there's a lot of stuff I have to talk about gameplay wise and things they're going to explain in the next part for our furthering adventures, because we're going to get a couple of access to some other things we need to talk about. So the next video is going to be a bit more explainy, so I'm splitting it only because of that reason. So sorry that this one's a little short. It's about 20 minutes, not too bad. I figured that's about where I wanted to end it. So we're going to drop it off here and we're going to pick it up next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you guys see you on part 4.